everybody, welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this right here is our top 5 heavy games. Now, we've said that heavy games mean it's a complexity rating of 3.5 out of 5 or higher.
Yep.
So again, we're talking about the upper element of complexity. And of course, we're using the complexity ratings on the Geek, which are largely... I guess subjective, depending upon
very subjective.
A lot of people, different people say it's all community driven. So take that for what it's worth. So
have you ever gone in and looked at some of those, like the rating breakdowns on some of those? It's kind of funny because I will try to go in there and put a rating in there where I see it, but it's always funny when you open up a game that's like a 2.25 or something like that, and somebody's marked it a 5. And you wonder if they marked it a 5 to try to push that up a little bit, or if they really thought it was that. But there's some of that in there too. So
it is the Geek.
It happens.
People do that all the time on the Geek. Well, this should be an 8, and it's only a 6. I'm going to give it a 10. We did already record our bottom 5. That is our numbers 10 through 6. That's over on the Dice Tower. There's a link in the description below. You can go check that out if you want. Watch this first, and then go see that. Anyway, we're going to get to it. Our top 5 heavy games. Here we go. All right, my number 5 is a game that, now, I'll say this. My bottom half was all games that I've only played once but would willfully and readily play again if given the chance.
Fair.
That being said, all 5 of these are games that I have played multiple times and would play again if given the chance.
Yep.
So there you have it. My number 5 is a game that I've played ever since its 2nd edition. And it has a 3rd edition, and now it is currently in its 4th edition stage, and that is Twilight Imperium 4th edition. This game can take
16.2 hours.
Up to 12 hours. Now, I say up to 12 hours because if you're taking more than 12 hours to play this game, you're doing something wrong.
Or you're having a lot of fun. Or you don't want to go home to your wife.
Oh, come on. No, that's not true. Now, we've sat down and I've played a 3-player game of this in 4 hours. It's happened. Now, the people we were playing with, it was myself, it was Vernon Piper, and it was another guy we were actually teaching the game to, but he was a savvy gamer. He came to a lot of our game groups and that kind of stuff. Now, that was with Vernon being Vernon. Vernon is very much an aggressive player.
I was going to say, in a 3-player version of this game, there's probably not a lot of diplomacy and negotiation.
Well, it depends. I mean, but
it becomes more of a war game.
Still,
the less guys there's there.
Right. That is definitely the fastest I've ever played the game. But it can be done. That's the only reason I bring it up. This is a great, epic, sci-fi epic game where each of the asymmetric factions are going to be vying for a lot of different things in the universe, controlling Mechatol Rex, which is the center of the universe, controlling the laws and that get passed, and controlling your airspace, and how many planets do you control, and a lot of different kinds of objectives and goals, personal objectives, public objectives. It's a really epic game. It does take a long time to play, but every single time I've played it, I always stand up and say, it didn't feel like it took that long.
Sure.
Because you're so involved in what's going on.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I really enjoy this game a lot. My number 5, Twilight Imperium, 4th edition.
Nice. My number 5, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler to the other list. Go watch it anyways. But my number 5 is a Garfield game. And so in the top 10, I like a lot of Garfield games, and I didn't want to try to saturate it or whatever else. So I did not put Ezra and Nehemiah in here. I really, really love Ezra and Nehemiah. And yeah, that game is friggin' awesome. But my number 5, my favorite Garfield game right now is Scholars of the South Tigris. According to the Geek, it comes in at a 4.1. It I'm surprised that it's that high because I don't think it's that difficult of a game. Out of all of the South Tigris games, they're all quite heavy. Inventors is the heaviest for sure, but out of all of them, this one to me makes the most sense to most people because there's a logical flow. You talked about that in another game, but there's a logical flow to what you want to do in this game. You want to hire translators. You want to get manuscripts into the houses of learning. You want to translate those manuscripts into Arabic, it's Arabic you're going to, but all of those things, there's a flow to how you're doing on this map. And you have, the way that the game plays out is you have your own action selection board, basically, and you're playing a card down into that action selection board, which gives you the action that you can do. And then you're matching that with dice. And the dice and the meeples is the most difficult part of this, because there's some of the actions on the board need colors. They need you to do a red action to get there. Some of them need numbers. You need a 9 or a 3 or a 2 or whatever else. There's this whole balancing of what you're doing with the dice, and you can play up to 2 dice on an action and meeples on the action. If I play I don't want to go too deep into the rules, but if I play a red 2 and I play a red meeple with it, that now becomes a red 6. But if I play a white dice and I put a yellow meeple with it, it's now a yellow dice. So there's this whole balance of what you're doing in your actions, but it follows this logical flow of what you're doing in the game to translate the scrolls. So I really love this game. I really like, that structure to it. That it makes sense. And it gives you a nice path forward all the time. So
it was Ezra and Nehemiah that I was talking about, the procedure that you have. It's very procedural, and so it makes sense that.
But there's no time when you look at this game or look at this board and go, "Oh crud!" And there's some tech tracks on there too that give you all kinds of bonus and things. But there's no time when you look at this and you don't think, "Okay, this is what I need to do next because I need to get a translator, or I need to do this." And most of the time, you kind of know what your flow is going to be, and it's easy to see your path forward. So,
all right, my number 4 is another one that is just very, again, all of these are just very thematic. That's just the way it goes for me with heavy games. And this one is from one of my favorite themes, Vikings. And I was thinking about this the other day. I don't really like as much the mythical side of Vikings. I like more the historical side of Vikings. I don't know. It's not that I dislike, the mythology of the Norse mythology or anything like that. It's not that I don't find it as interesting, but I find the historical aspect of Vikings a little bit more interesting. But anyway, this is Lords of Ragnarok, heavily in the mythical realm of Vikings, and I really enjoy the asymmetry of this game, and I really enjoy the area control value of the game, and the production value. Man, Awakened Realms knocked it out of the freaking park with this one. I thought Lords of what's the other one? Hellas. I thought Lords of Hellas had high production quality. They outdid Lords of Hellas with Lords of Ragnarok. It's an amazingly fun game. It's very thematic, but it is pretty significantly heavy. You have regular troops, you have heroes. You were talking about another game on your list, and that made me think of this game, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to give too much away. But I like it when you have asymmetric factions, and each of your basic troops can basically do everything else, but your heroes are are highly specialized with each of the different factions. I just really enjoy this game a lot. Lords of Ragnarok.
I like the area control in this one. You're trying to control temples, build temples all over the place. You're working on the monuments of the gods. But you really have to think about what you're doing because you only have like 6 troops, right? You don't. This isn't like millions of armies spread out all over the place. It's very strategic in the way that you do your things.
Absolutely.
The hardest part about this game is learning the sequence of actions because there is quite I don't remember what it is, but there's 9 or 10 parts to every turn, right? And they all go in. Everybody does this one, everybody does this one, everybody does this one, all the way through. So it is quite a lengthy turn until you have a good grasp of each of those steps.
That's true.
But it's a really cool game. And
there
beautiful. All right, my number 4, I alluded to this in my other half of this list, but to crack into these top 4 with this category, this weighting category, would be near impossible. My number 4 is a Vitala-illustrated game, Eagle Griffin Games, called Kanban EV. I absolutely, you guys have already heard me 100,000 times talk about Kanban EV. I absolutely love this game. And it's not the making electric vehicles or whatever else that sparks my interest in here whatsoever, but the mechanics in this game, how smooth this game is, just the way everything works together. Thematically, this game is perfect. Yeah, the way that all those mechanics work together just absolutely is unbelievable. Everything you do on your action, when you take your turn, there's only like 5 worker placement spots right up the center of the board. When you take your turn, or at the beginning of the turn, everybody is going to get to go to a different worker placement spot. And your placement is based on whoever's on the top gets to move first, then the next person moves, the next person moves, the next person moves. So not only are you trying to figure out which department you're going into and how much time you want to spend there, because you get those in 3 or 2 hour increments. You can bank some extra time that you can spend to do extra things. But you also have to figure out what order you're going to go in, because if I come down here and people are doing stuff up here, they may do things before, I can get to them. Or if I jump way up the top, all of that is turn order, but it's also placement order or picking order. So there's just this huge balance. This game thematically makes complete sense, but the mechanisms are fantastic. So Sandra follows you around. She yells at you when you don't do your training. Every week you have to have a meeting with the boss and say how good you did.
The meeting could have been an email, bro.
Yep. And in the solo mode, you can get fired on first turn if you do poorly. So
super don't want to play this game.
Legitimately get fired
I
for
super
not being productive. So what a fantastic game. Production value off the charts too. So there you go.
Agreed. All right, my number 3 is another highly thematic game, and it's actually based on, so I guess, I don't know, saying this is a highly thematic game might be a little bit of a trouble because it was based on another game that has a completely different theme, but that theme is also good versus evil. This is called Dune: War for Arrakis, and it's based on War of the Ring. Sorry, not War of the Ring. Way back in the day. I didn't really have that much affinity for War of the Ring because I didn't like a singular rule that just kind of made the game very sour for me, and that was the good people can't attack the bad people even when they have every opportunity to attack the bad people. Don't like that. You had to wait for a certain point within the timeline, which was a thematic reason. I get it. It just didn't make sense to me from a game perspective. So anyway, I never really had that much of a liking for War of the Ring. That rule is non-existent in Dune: War for Arrakis, and it makes complete sense that if I see the Harkonnen building up in this area and I have the opportunity to go attack them, I absolutely can. I don't have to wait for them to do something first.
I'm gonna feed them to a sandworm.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so many cool things about this game that make War of the Ring a better game, in my opinion. But the theme also works very well. I like all of the different characters that you can have in the game that are the named characters from the movie / book, whatever you've read or watched.
Book / movie.
Yes. Okay. Let's put the chicken before the egg. Yes, that's fine. But I really do enjoy this game a lot, and it's one of those things where I haven't really fleshed out all of the game yet. I haven't played solo mode. You've tried solo mode, and you said it wasn't that great.
I did. It wasn't. Yeah. You want to have people there to play against.
Makes sense. So that's what we're going to do. It's really a 2-player game, from what I remember as well.
Yes.
Playing half of the Harkonnen and half of the Atreides just doesn't seem like very.
That doesn't seem fun. Yeah, it's a very cool game. I like the fact that the dice signify what you can do on your turn, which can obviously hurt you if you have something in mind that you really want to do and you can't get there, but because of the way the dice work. But it also means that you can't min-max every turn either. You have to.
That's what I like about it.
Go with the flow.
You got it.
Or you have to ebb. You got to change your strategy based on that, and that's what really I like a lot.
Sometimes you got to make lemonade.
Yep.
You don't have what you need to make the.
Yeah, War's not perfect, and this one does a good job of making that makes sense. So, all right, my number 3. Now, these top 3 in different lists may be in different orders. I don't know. It doesn't really matter right now as of today. They do all have plot armor, that's for sure. My number 3 has already been mentioned today, but not in a list. He just popped it out of his mouth arbitrarily.
Oh.
This is from Greater Than Games, and it's called Spirit Island. Spirit Island's a great game. It is extremely thinky game. You are laid out. You have this map in front of you. It's an island. You know exactly, or kind of know exactly what the invaders are going to do, where they're going to build towns, where they're going to destroy, where they're going to, send people out from. You know these things, and you're still fighting tooth and nail, literally tooth and nail, as the spirits of the island to beat back these invaders who just keep coming and just get in your way. You're trying to increase the fear, really. You're just trying to put one of the coolest ways to win is pure fear, just like shoving them off the island because they're too scared to be there.
You all thought he was a nice person.
That is so cool. That's such a neat way to do it. Some of the spirits, they use the wild animals, and I would say play this with all the expansions. They just make it that much better, give you that many more options. But some use the wild animals to really forcefully attack enemies or the invaders. Some do a good job of using the Dahan, who are the natives, to push the invaders around or to, to fight against them. But this is a fantastic puzzle. It's a deck building game where you are building up. It's more of a hand building game, I guess, because you're not going to get a huge deck. But you're upgrading your spirit as you go. You're building your hand of powers and abilities. So what a fantastic game. So
very cool.
My number 3, Spirit Island.
Knew it was going to be there. That's
of
low.
Course.
That's low, really.
I know you would say that, but when you listen to the other 2, you probably won't.
Gotcha. All right, my number 2. Again, I did not subject myself to the restriction of not including campaign games. And this isn't really I don't think it's really a campaign game more than anything else. It feels more scenario driven because I don't think it has a campaign. You'll be able to tell me. But this is one that is new. I've played it no less than 3 times in the last, not including last week.
Right,
I played it in the last 3 weeks. I played it 3 times, and I took the last week off. So I played it 3 times in 2 weeks. This is Nemesis Retaliation. Now, Nemesis Retaliation is the latest iteration of the Nemesis line, and I like it the best, I think, because it's more of the kind of game that I like to play, the action-packed Aliens 2, not Aliens 1, where there's that...
Yep.
Very
much survival horror, the first one.
Before the real fans pop out and start saying it. It's more like Aliens, not Alien.
Yep, that's right.
So 1, first movie, second movie.
Yep.
All right. So
I thought they got that. I understood what you meant.
Yeah, I know, but we're talking about the internet over here. So anyway, I really enjoy the more adventure, action-packed style that Nemesis Retaliation brings to the table. And I've only played 2 of the factions, and they're both very different.
Yeah.
As far as how you beat them.
Really
and
cool.
I like that. It gives you a different experience, but it still has that action-packed, very much adventure feel to it. And I really enjoy that. So this is my number 2 thus far, Nemesis Retaliation. Really enjoy this one.
I think I said at the very beginning of the last video that I gave this one a break because I've done doing so much with it. But I knew it would be on your list, and I was happy it would be there. I have come to the conclusion, though, that I think Retaliation will overtake Nemesis in the lists and in people's minds, just because it has more of a mass appeal. I don't want to say mass appeal, but it'll appeal to more people being beyond just the survival horror portion.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So, Retaliation is a great game. I love Nemesis, too.
I think it also has, I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but I think it also has enough of that survival horror feel in it that it'll also appeal to the other camp.
That's
which
what
is why
saying.
It's going to be,
takes it beyond.
Right.
It expands its boundaries there,
Absolutely.
I think. So,
it's a good point.
It's a great game. All right, my number 2, which honestly I thought would be on your list. I figured it'd be a little bit lower on your list. I'm surprised I don't know what your number 1 is, but I don't think it's this. But it could be. My number 2.
I don't think you played my number 1.
Oh, good. See, I knew that. But my number 2, I can't believe it wasn't on his list because I thought you liked it better than... I didn't think you'd think it was trash.
Oh, I don't.
No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't.
My number 2 is from Luke Laurie, called Andromeda's Edge. Andromeda's Edge, and I looked for the other one. I'm not even going to name it because I don't even know what the rating was on it. So I don't think it's a 3.5 rating. Andromeda's Edge is slightly more difficult. I don't know if it's that much more difficult.
Sure.
But in Andromeda's Edge, you are sending out your ships, which are your workers, to different areas of the Andromeda Galaxy, right? You're exploring new planets, you're building buildings out there, you're collecting these moon tokens which give you resources and help your engine as you go.
Yeah.
You're collecting all these technology cards. But it has a really cool system, just like in Dwellings of Elder Whale, where you're placing it as a worker placement game with a lot of board modifiers. In both of them, but it's a worker placement game where you're placing a worker out there. You're typically getting some kind of resource and maybe doing an action along with that. And if you are within proximity of enemies, they will come in. There's combat in this quite significantly, even more so than in Dwellings. But every time there's a combat, enemies come in, and then everybody else gets an opportunity to jump in and have a fight. It's a big dice rolling. And if your people die, it's not the end of the world. They go to a different spot on the board. But you just keep working through this and trying to build these buildings, trying to collect these commanders, these, I can't think of the name of the people right now, and get them into your building so you can get points. And then at the end of your turn, or when you don't have any guys left, you bring them back, you recall them back, and you get to run your little engine that you've created of cards, which is really quite cool. Running your engine to get resources, to get energy, to do different things, and then sending your ships back out. And you're making new ships. You start out with just 3 little ships that just do next to nothing, but then you can get a battleship and a science vessel. And the cool thing about this one is randomly at the beginning of the game you get chosen 1 science vessel and 1 battleship that will have special abilities. So your ships really do feel different.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just a really great game. Excellent production quality. I like the Euro-ness of it, but yet it's still a big epic battle. It's still a big epic map. Yeah, there's just a lot to love in this game.
And your science vessels look remarkably like the USS Enterprise.
No, the USS Enterprise looks remarkably like your science vessels.
My number one is a game that I've talked about a lot. This comes in at a 3.75. And it is Star Wars in a box, Star Wars Rebellion. It's my number 1. And again, this doesn't hit the table very often, but it's one of those things where I don't play it very often because it is a 2-player game, and Jesse is my main 2-player game person, and this is way over what she enjoys. Way over. So I can't get it to the table very often. And it's a sprawling game as well. So, but I really enjoy this game. This is everything that I would want a Star Wars game to be, wrapped up into one. You're talking epic space battles, logistically moving around your troops. If you're the rebels, you have to maintain a secret base, and if they find out where your base is, you've got to escape your base and go plant another one. So it's just all of this that goes together. You're running around. Sometimes the Empire has 2 Death Stars out there at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where the Empire very much felt like the Empire, and the Rebels very much felt like the Rebels.
Yeah.
Like super, like the Rebels were super the underdogs. There's no way the Rebels should have won, and that's how it feels. And yet you can still pull out that win.
You spend half the game planting corn, and the next thing you know, you're having a battle.
Corn?
Well, that's what the rebels are, right? It's
I don't
a bunch
know
of
about
farmers.
that. Grab your torch and pitchforks.
That's right. We're going after...
It's my number one, Star Wars Rebellion. It is Star Wars in a box, and we will go ahead and throw in there the one expansion that I believe it has, and it threw in the Rogue One characters and some of the plot lines for Rogue One, because it fits very, very seamlessly in before A New Hope. So it's a great game. It's a great game.
Perfect. All right, my number one, I almost caveated myself out of putting this here. That's why I had to restart my list at some point. I'm like, you're an idiot if you just take this one out for no reason. My number one is from Chip Theory Games, called Too Many Bones.
Yeah.
3.87 on the Geek.
Yeah.
And once you love it, and that's all there is to it. You just can't unlove it. In Too Many Bones, you have a Gearlock character which starts out pretty basic with a couple of attack dice, a couple of defense dice, and some special abilities. But throughout the game, you're leveling up this character. You're going through scenario after scenario, day after day, as you're going to fight the big bad monster at the end, whatever the boss may be. And it could be a dragon, or it could be the Goblin Queen, or it could be a lava monster, whatever else. But you're growing your Gearlock. Each of the Gearlocks, I think there's 18 of them, are very, very, very different. From using bombs to riding a pig around the battle, shooting darts at people to... Yeah, that's my favorite one, by the way. Dart is my favorite character.
Riding a pig, shooting darts at people.
That's right. She's my favorite one. But you got your warrior characters, your healer characters. Patches is great because he injects people with stuff you don't want to get injected with. But anyways, you are gaining dice, which are your abilities, and then you're rolling all of these dice as you combat all of these different creatures. There is a steep learning curve.
Yes.
If you just are going to pull this out of the box and try to learn it and try to put it together. But once you have it, it's pretty smooth. And once you get used to what all of the different abilities are and stuff like that, it's pretty darn smooth. I really love this game. I love it solo. I love it at 2. Me and Mel and Hawken played at 3. I just love this game.
That's cool. That's a good one. It is one where I got burnt on the front end of my entry into it because I was at a convention and a bunch of guys were there. And they all wanted to play, and they were all very highly experienced with it. They threw me in the deep end with all these expansions and this and this and that. Yep. Now I had no idea what was going on the entire time. After I moved up here, played it a couple times with JT. Then played at Unbreakable. Unbreakable.
Yep.
Play Unbreakable with them a couple times, and after that, I see the system more for what it is. And I enjoy it. Again, it didn't make my list. It did make my short list.
Sure.
But it didn't make my 10. So it's in my top 17 heavy games. So if that makes any sense. But it is a great system, and it is one that definitely has a high learning curve. But it's worth it.
Yep, it is. It's worth it. Anyways, that's my number one.
Very
Too Many Bones.
Very good.
We made it.
Yep. All right. Well, that is our top 5. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Remember, there's a link in the description below. You can go check out our bottom 5 over on the Dice Tower. Leave us a like and subscribe here. Hit that bell icon so we can let you know when we have more videos coming out for your perusal. And give us a comment. Let us know what you think. What are your top 5 heavy games? And we'll read it, we'll respond, and we'll hope to see you there. Thanks for being here, folks. Take care.
Remember, board games are good for your mental health.
Generally speaking.